Hey guys, real quick before we start the video, I want to direct you to the community tab on my channel. I'm currently running Yeah, I was getting a little bored of that intro bumper thing on every video too. So really quick, while I have you right here from the jump, if there's any polls that you didn't vote on for any of the monsters, YouTube only allows you to scroll back so far in a community tab. There is a guy, one of my fans, completely unprompted, unasked, this wasn't even something I thought of, made a Google Doc with links to every single poll in it. I was kind of just gonna let things run, be the way that they are, but yeah, no, this really awesome dude, who I will leave the link to his documents in the pinned comment and in the description. It's also in the pinned comments of a couple of the other community posts made recently. He is essentially leaving it open for anyone who needs to catch up on anything to vote and comment on whatever they missed, which is awesome, so big shout out to that guy. Completely wasn't even my idea, can't take credit for that whatsoever, but wanted to guide you to it. So I wanted to talk about this project a little bit. The reason I wanted to do this doesn't have anything to do with not liking the popularity poll contest that Capcom ran towards the beginning of the year. Like I said when I started this project, it wasn't like a salt thing whatsoever. Like, my favorite monster got in, I think, like the top 20 or 25th percentile. Zinogre being number one. I have a $100 figure of him and a framed picture of him on my wall. So I'm not particularly upset about anything there. But what I wanted to do, because I thought it would be fun, and I thought that project was a lot of fun, is kind of recreate that whole ordeal, but in a way where everybody could say anything that they wanted about every monster, instead of just casting a single vote for a favorite. I thought that would be really cool as a method of expression of favoritism or an expression of critique. If you've been paying attention whatsoever, you know that the results on my project are going to be pretty different from the results on the popularity poll, that is for sure. Yeah, no, I thought it would just be interesting to attack it from that kind of vector, and it made for a really cool, just overarching thing to do all year, and to work on all year, and to gather information for all year. So yeah, no, this isn't any kind of stab at doing something better than Capcom did. I'm not a statistician, I have no idea. This is purely for the sake of passion and kind of wanting to do this fun thing with my community of people. And you know, I'll totally admit that this project has its own source of flaws. The criteria for the fan poll project is vote for your favorite. The criteria for this one, far more nebulous. People talked about fights, people talked about music and armor and hit zones and values and weapon metas and armor skills and all that kind of stuff. Very nebulous, but that's the nature of it. It's whatever came out of your heart about that monster you were talking about. Clearly, I have a far smaller size. I got about like 2,000 to 3,000 votes on every poll, which still stacks up to like 500,000, which is awesome engagement for the channel, which I'm very thankful for. But you know, clearly I don't have nearly the same amount of reach. And again, I wish that I could have done something more like 10 stars, because having 5 stars the way that I do it really only gives me a threshold of about 400 units that I can actually use for number crunching. With 228 monsters, things can get a little jumbled. I wish I was able to spread that data out a little bit more. There's ways that I could have if I set up like a separate link with like a Google thing or whatever, but I wanted to do the poll system over YouTube in the community tab, over one a day. And, you know, that comes with the weaknesses that it comes with, right? So, certainly, there's a whole list of probably other things that means that this is not a straight-up objective look, but I still think it's wicked fun. Mathematically, how things are going to pan out is that what I do is I actually got this idea, again, not taking credit for things that weren't my idea. There is a YouTuber by the name of Thor Skywalker, does a lot of like Star Wars related stuff and some Marvel related stuff. Used to run a series like, I think like 2 years ago, called Battle of the Heroes and Villains. He would ask his community how they ranked a certain Star Wars character, and they'd stack it up star-wise, and then he would read off a bunch of comments from his community regarding that character, and then he'd match them up against one another. So what he did was he took the percentage that voted for a certain star, multiplied that by the star value, then took all 5 of those numbers that were gotten off of multiplication, added those together, divided them by 100, and allocated a star value to that. So that is exactly the same math and a very, very similar format to what I'm doing. I've been open to the fact that I got that project idea from him. Said that before, I'll say it again just to make sure that it is clear and apparent that I did get this idea from somebody else. And like I said, this really only leads to about 400 units that I can work with about 228 entries. So when it comes to ties and overlaps, the best tiebreaker that I have at the moment, due to the limited data that YouTube will provide me regarding the results of certain polls, is looking at the percentages and like whoever got more 5 stars. If that ties, we look at 4. If that ties, you look at 3, that kind of thing. That's the best I can do for that kind of thing right now. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't give me percent to the decimal, and it doesn't give me exact numbers on anything. I tried to find the information. Hopefully I can break up as many ties as possible. But yeah, that is how the math is going to work. Additionally, Behemoth and the Lessons are not taken into account here. I agree with Capcom in not counting them in there. That's not really part of Monster Hunter's bestiary. And unlike the original poll, I did not use Atal Neset. Atal Neset got in there basically due to the fact that it has its own ID number within their internal systems and organization. In that kind of pragmatic sense, I guess that's applicable. In terms of like actually talking about the monsters, you really can't divorce Atal from Atal Neset. So the other thing is, when comparing the list on my videos to the original poll, there is going to be a margin of error due to the fact that there is one less entry. All that aside, I think this is just, it's going to be wicked fun. It has been wicked fun to read your comments, to get your feedback, to hear your excitement about the project and hear you guys talking about it, and I get questions peppered about it every once in a while. It's going to be a lot of fun. Perfect? No. There's some flaws with you doing it on YouTube. There's flaws with the very nebulous criteria of the actual voting, all that kind of stuff. You know, there's flaws by comparison with just the amount of entries and how we both did different things. But I think it's going to be a blast. The other thing I want to talk about is formatting. So I mentioned this in a post, but it has been finalized at this point. It's going to be 2 weeks straight of daily uploads, so 14 days. The math actually panned out really nicely. So it's going to be 13 days of 16 entries per day. And then we're going to cap it off with a live premiere debut video of the top 20. So that pops out at 228 entries over 14 days. Really nice, clean math. Was great. So that is going to be the upload format. I hope you guys are excited for that. Videos are going to drop starting on November the 10th. And they're going to run through to about the 24th. I'm doing great by the time this is uploading with the actual progression of the project. While I'm recording this, I have every singular entry, all 228 monsters recorded, and with the exception of the 5th generation Elder Dragons, they are all manually edited. And then on the video front, the formatting of how the videos are going to look is set in stone. Haven't locked everything in yet, gone too far into that due to the fact that I haven't locked in the list properly and I don't want to get ahead of myself. But with all my formatting done, it's a lot of just copy pasting of filters, which is going to make just machine gunning out these videos at this point particularly easy. So production is going great on the videos right now, and I'm probably going to be able to get these out really fast. I might be able to get them all done between the 5th and the 10th, honestly. But the first one will be installed in YouTube system before the 10th, and they're just going to keep rolling day by day. So look forward to that. The other thing, right before we kind of wrap this up here, is with this being a community project, I, of course, had to bring in a little bit more of the Monster Hunter community proper. So you're gonna be seeing or hearing some other voices that you might recognize in and amongst this project. Who's gonna be around and who they're gonna be talking about, you're just gonna have to figure that out for yourselves, but I hope that makes you excited. It's looking forward to working with a number of these people. We got a lot of really cool people making Monster Hunter content in this community. Yeah, that's the schedule. Check the pinned comment in the description. That's why I'm making this project. That's why that's how I recognize some of the issues that the project has, so don't worry about that. I know, I'm well aware nowhere. I've seen it's not a big thing, but I do see it every once in a while. People not entirely sure why I'm doing this or why I went with the formatting that I had or whatever. I get it. At the end of the day, I think this is going to be really, really cool. So yeah, no, this is going to be rolling out. And then while this is rolling out, as this is getting done in advance, I'm going to be working on the Christmas special. So that is going to be running in the background while these videos are rolling out, starting on the 10th. And then while the Christmas special is rolling out, going to be working on the 20th anniversary product. And then we're still going to be streaming about twice a week. And then Wilds is coming out on the 28th of February. So look forward to, like, everything, man. So the back chunk of this year, big extravaganza that I got planned is really kind of only just starting. So stay tuned. I appreciate ya. This has been CR-Volcanic or Connor. I'll see you around. Shout out to all the patrons, and special shout out to Stromlin, Sir Wafty, Sir Newt Newt, Shaggy Grizzly, Peaberry, Nihilus Chimerax, Datboy Doinderding, Ketz, I Think I Stole Your Sandwich, and Call Sign Shadow. Thank you very much, everyone.